Mr. Ogwal, I think we are set to begin.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, members, for turning up. Good evening to all of you. Yes, behind your microphone is Ogwal Isaac. Yes, for those who don't know me, I'm a teacher of ICT. I'm a webmaster. I have my small website that I manage. It's ictyugi.com. If you type it on your browser, you'll be able to access. I do some little consultancy work in the Diocese of Luwero. I'm also a member of the TAO and a mobilizer in the Greater Luwero region. Yes, that is basically what I can say about myself. A specialist in education planning and curriculum studies. So today we are looking at HTML basics. For those who are on call, I'm not able to tell who is a lady and who is a gentleman, but allow me to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not very perfect in HTML, but what drives me to do this kind of training is the passion that I have for ICT. And that's why in most cases, we are working together with Mr. Dumba, Stephen. The same passion, I think, is the one that made us to organize this 1 week workshop for free. And the coming week will also be for free, which is CSS. So for those who are new to HTML, HTML is a standard markup language. So whenever people are thinking about creating websites, the basic language that each one of us is supposed to have is this skill on how we can manipulate and use HTML, because it enables you and me to go ahead and create our websites. The same HTML will allow you to structure your web page, and that's why they call it a markup language. Markup meaning that you can structure the contents the way you want that content to appear when it has been loaded on your browser. So that is the meaning of a markup. And that's why we look at HTML as a markup language. So as you're working with HTML, you'll interact with a number of or series of elements. So what we call the elements, elements include everything from what we call the starting tag or the start tag and the end tag. We are going to see what do we call a tag. So whenever we are creating our web pages or creating our websites while working with this HTML, we tend to use what we call tags. And within the tags, we put there the contents. So everything starting from the start tag to the end tag is what we call an element in HTML. So with HTML, it tells the browser how to display the contents. So those contents that you want displayed on your browser, still this same markup language we are calling HTML through its elements. They are the ones to help you, they are the ones to help me to make this browser be able to display those contents we want displayed. So I've already talked about HTML as being a markup language. This is because it allows us, the users, to go ahead and organize the look to format the look of our contents, of our presentation, to meet our needs. So that is why we say HTML is known as a markup language, because it allows users organize the look and the presentation of all the contents that needs to go on a web page. A web page is simply a collection of those documents that you're trying to make accessible via your web browser. It includes the text contents, it includes the images, it includes the audios, the videos, all those ones, we call them web page. Those electronic documents that we always find on our website. So we, by the end of our training, we shall be able to have simple websites created containing our web pages. So like I've said, markup refers to how you and me can structure, or how you and me can format, or how you and me can change our contents and make them appear on the browser the way we want them to appear. So that is the markup. Refers to how you can change the structure of your contents, how you can change the format of your contents. That is the meaning of markup. Markup language is a computer language that we use to create our web pages. I've already talked about this. Markup means it uses tags. It uses tags to define. We are going to look at tags. If you already have the knowledge about HTML, you'll forgive me because I want really to start from ground. So this markup means that it uses those tags to define our elements and add the information that we want displayed on our web browser. HTML is the most popular markup language. This HTML we are talking about is the most popular markup language, which was developed by this man we are calling Sir Tim Berners-Lee. And this gentleman developed this markup language in 1993. However, it has gone through a series of stages of improvement or of development since then. Then when it came to 2014, they recommended HTML5. So these days, most people are using HTML5 because it is the most recommended version of HTML since 1993. So it is what we shall be using, ladies and gentlemen, for our training. However, there's no much big difference, as we shall be seeing. Now, as we are talking about HTML, we need to know that there is that fundamental structure of HTML that you and me, we are supposed to follow. That takes us to what we are calling defining document structure. Which document? HTML document structure. We can't do away without, we can't do anything we are talking about in HTML without using the tags that we are seeing on our screen. Let me try to go through these tags, ladies and gentlemen. The first tag, the one you are seeing, doc type HTML. Now, this doc type HTML here, I'm saying definitions. You can even say declaration. As you're starting to work with your HTML, you need to first do what we call document type declaration. You declare the version of HTML you are using. Yes. So that is very, very important. You're going to inform your browser that this is the version of the HTML I'm going to use to mark up my document, to change my document, to format my document, that is to mark up. So you have to start with this tag here. And this is an example of a tag that we are talking about. Then after you put that tag, you have to go ahead and put this HTML. Why? This provides a root element. Now you start saying, we have already informed our browser that the version of HTML we are working on is this. So let us start working on our HTML. So you put this tag first. So this tag has two symbols. If you look at them carefully, there is this less than symbol and there is this greater than symbol. So these ones, we have to use them. Someone, may you please mute so that some feedback kindly. Yes, so we have to use this greater than symbol and the less than symbol to make what we call a full tag. So HTML, whenever you open any tag in your HTML document, you have to go ahead and close that tag. So this is our starting tag, HTML. We are now informing our browser that we are going to start working on our HTML document. So when you're done working on your HTML document, you have to close. Take a keen look at the colors I've used. So you have to close this tag. You open it first, and it is the last tag to be closed here. The difference between the opening or the start tag and the end tag is that the end tag has got this slash here, the forward slash. So you've opened, so you have to make sure you close. You are now informing your browser that this brings us to the end of our HTML document. That is the meaning of this tag. So we go to this tag for head. Now, for the head tag, this one is to help us describe. Let me try to get some highlighter. Yes, this tag here, the head, is to help us go ahead and describe the data. Yes, the data about our document. It is from this head tag that we are going now to put there the title of our document. So this title is the one that appears on our web browser. So that's why we need it. So as we are putting the head tag, it comes with this tag here for title. To enable you put the title of your document on that browser page, on top of that browser. So that is the meaning. So when you open this head tag, you also have to go ahead and close it. That is after you have defined or after you have described the title of your document. So when you also open this tag for title and you put the title, you go ahead and close it. That's why here I'm saying that data, it contains data describing the document to be added. That's what it means. Now, I was talking about HTML element, and I said an HTML element is everything starting from the start tag to the end tag. Now, this is our start tag, for instance, and this is our end tag. So everything within this start tag through to end tag is what we call the HTML element. I hope we have it now. So our head tag follows after you put the HTML tag. So when the head tag is defined and you have described your title of the document, close the heading. Why do we go ahead and we work with HTML? Our major point is to make our contents visible. So to make our contents visible, what we need to do is to work with the body tag. You invite or you enter the body tag. Then it is within the body tag that all our contents will appear in our browser. All the contents, for instance, you have a picture you want to apply you want it also to be displayed on your browser, you go under the body tag or in the body tag section. There you define, maybe I want this paragraph, I want this image to appear, I want this, I want that. All such stuff, contents will appear in the body section. So when you have defined all those contents you want under the body section, of course, as you're defining, you also close. For instance, when you open a paragraph, the tag for paragraph is represented by P. So you put the paragraph, put that content, close the paragraph. If you have another paragraph, create that paragraph, put the content, close. If you have put all those elements under the body section and you feel like, I think this is what I want for my web page, then you go ahead and close the body tag as well. So this is for closing the body tag. This is for opening. Let's assume that everything is done. You feel like, I think today I can stop here, or you feel like this is what I want for my website. Then you can say, okay, inform your browser now that that brings me to the end of this HTML document that I was creating by putting this tag. So ladies and gentlemen, as we are creating our web pages while working with HTML, these are what we are calling fundamental structure, fundamental tags that we must put into consideration. I hope that is okay. So the fundamental structure, I've already talked about it in details from the other illustration. You can still go ahead and read about this. I will be sharing with you. I think, Mr. Dumba, we should consider creating a WhatsApp group as well. So that is with fundamental structure. I've talked about what an HTML element is. For those who have just joined, an HTML element, we said it is defined by the start tag, the contents between the tags. That is, if I say between the tag, that is between the start tag and our end tag. So as we are defining our tag, we have to be with the tag name. Go ahead and put the contents between the tag, and then you have the tag to close this tag that you have opened. So everything from this start tag to the end tag makes up what we call an HTML element. An example is this one below here. This H1 is a tag for heading style 1. So if you want a heading style in your document, you can go ahead and say, this is what I want. So you say heading style, then which type of heading, what is the content, you define or you put the content. When you put the content, you go ahead and close that heading style 1. So all that is within this makes up what we call an HTML element. I hope members can hear me. Let me check. Yes, the video is being recorded. I hope you can hear me, ladies and gentlemen. So let me go on. Yes, as we are talking about creating our web pages, as we are talking about creating a website with HTML, we have also to remember that we are not going to create our web pages or our website. We are not going to create our website or our web pages from Microsoft Word or from Excel. We need to work with what we call the HTML editors. So these HTML editors are those programs that you and me can use for editing HTML, that you and me can use for designing our HTML document, that you and me can use to mark up our web pages, that is HTML editors. We have those simple ones that are available on our computers that you don't need to download, but also at the same time, we have those specialized HTML editors that you and me may need to download and we use. For them, they have or they offer us with some other added functionalities than the simple text editors such as the Notepad if you're using a personal computer, or text edit if you're using those other devices as you see on the screen. So for this particular training, I'm going to start with a Notepad that we can find on our computers, but I will encourage members to also try to download. There is that Notepad++. It is simple and easy to interact with. Maybe we shall use it in our next session. So editors help us to edit or to mark up or to design our web pages. So we have to think about editors such as the Notepad. Then if you want those specialized editors, here the list that you can use or you can download and you have it on your PC. The one I'm talking about is this Notepad++. I've been checking on Sublime Text. This one is also simple to use. You can as well try it out. So it is all about trying, ladies and gentlemen. I will provide you with this, but you can easily download them free of charge. So those are the specialized editors that you can use. For our practical session, we are going to look at how we can save an HTML document. Yes, saving an HTML document. How we can open our HTML document. Of course, when you open, you close. Then we shall see how we can work with the heading styles, and then paragraph styles. When we do this, the objective of our today's session will be successfully achieved. So for that case, let us jump onto our PC and we do this stuff practically. So I'm going
Mr. Ogwal,
yes, please.
perhaps can we have some feedback from the participants, if they have any questions before we go into the practical session? Questions from the audience? Where you need some clarification? Yes, Serugo Stewart, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dumba and the facilitator. I am following through attentively. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any other question, perhaps, where you need clarity? Moses asks that which of the editors is most recommended. Mr. Ogwal, could you help us with that?
I think it depends on the ease. Yes, how easy it is. So there are several, like I've told you. For me, what I'm using is this one, the Notepad++. But if you explore, even there are some other, like Visual Studio, you can also use it if you can. I will not tell lies that this is the most recommended, because for I like working with Notepad++. Just like Mr. Dumba, do you have any response there?
No, there is a class I'm having right now with Mr. David Wampam, and we are using Visual Studio something, that software. Yeah. But for me, in the most simplest way, we can start with Notepad. Basically, Notepad, it's available on any Windows computer. So we can start with that, and in any condition, it will work for us. Though I'm not saying it's the best, I don't know, but we can start with Notepad.
Yes.
Mr. Ogwal?
Yes, sir. Maybe if there are some other.
Okay, so another thing I would want, yes, Slide has a question, and right?
Hello, sir.
Slide, will you?
Yes,
please,
sir. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Just overview, or I'm asking, is there any possibility of us getting these slides, this work in slide format for us who came in late? Thank you.
Mr. Dumba?
Mr. Ogwal, that is your. Mr. Ogwal, will you avail this the
Mr. Dumba? Yes.
There?
Yes, I can hear you. I think, Mr. Dumba, you may need to create a WhatsApp group. Honestly, yes, I don't have contacts. But if you have this WhatsApp group
Okay.
created, I will really do share this. I will share it, please.
Okay. Okay then.
Yes.
So Mr. Surait is covered, and then the other thing, perhaps we continue. I encourage members to please use your URL names on your Zoom when identifying yourself on Zoom. This just helps us be professional. We are taking down a roll call to see who has attended. So there is no way we are going to save a person with just part. I can see Maxi. Although these are better, but there is a person with Galaxy Note 8. We cannot identify you by the G6 one. Let's try to have our written in our names. Thank you. So, Mr. Ogwal, I suggest that we go with the practical session.
Okay, sir. Okay. So, yes, I hope members can see my screen.
Yes, Mr. Ogwal, I can, and I hope others can too.
Okay. Yes, so to access our Notepad on our PCs, you can just search for Notepad. So when you type Notepad, you'll be able to access it here. So when it appears, just click on it once. Now, when you click on it, you'll be able to have the Notepad interface displayed on your screen. Now, I'm going to try to zoom my screen so that members can clearly view the contents that I will be typing. I'm trying to zoom. I think that is enough. Yes, like we said, we now have to, first step, declare the document type, and we let the browser know that this is the version we are using for our HTML or to mark up our document. So we said the first tag is to use the doc type. So I type it, doc type, then we say HTML, and I close that tag. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this tag doc type HTML, I've typed it in uppercase, but it is not case sensitive at all. You can decide to type it even in a lower case. So there is nothing like case sensitivity when you're typing this tag. I just prefer working with it the way you see it on my screen. So after declaring, the next step is now to inform our browser that we are starting to work with HTML. So we type HTML on our screen. Then we said we need to go ahead and now describe. Yes, we describe the title of our document, which will take us to that tag for heading. And within this tag, we said we describe the heading with the help of the title tag, Let me take it, let all of them be in the same line. So I've opened this title tag. So what is the title of your HTML document? Maybe let me call it page title. So I type it as page title and we shall see where it will go. So when you put the page title, go ahead and close that title. Then we also close our heading section or the head tag. So we put that tag. What is next? We now want to have the contents to be displayed on our web browser as well. So that brings us to the body tag. So we open our body tag, then press the enter. Now, sometimes people tend to forget to close this HTML tag and they tend to forget to close the body tag. So I'm going to create a tag to close the body tag, and then we close our HTML. We inform our browser that this is now the end of our HTML document. Now we want to have our contents in this document we are creating. And we said that any content that you want displayed on our browser should go in the body section. So we have to go in the body section. The body section is between the open or the start tag and the end tag of the body. So this section is where we now go ahead and start creating our contents. Before you can create any content here, ladies and gentlemen, let's first save our document. So to save our document, we go to File, and then we use the Save As option. Now, when you click the Save As option, like any other applications, you are going to provide the file name. Yes, the file name for your document that you are creating. So the file name, to me, I will call it index. Now, in most cases, when you're creating or when you're saving HTML, you'll find many people saving it as index. This is a common name that is used for the default pages that we normally create. It is just a default page that you will always have shown on your website if other pages are not specified. So even when you're saving your HTML document, there is some additional step we are supposed to make. If we just save it as index, we type the file name as index and we click save, it will be saved as a text document. But remember, when we save our HTML document and we try to run it, we are not supposed to run it as a text document or to open it. We open it with a web browser because all websites or all web pages are accessible from the web browser. So to enable us also have this simple website we are creating to be opened with the help of a browser. So we put index and we said dot, that full stop on your keyboard, dot, .html. Others just put .htm and it will still work. So specify where you want it to go. I want it to go on my desktop, so I'll leave it there. To be sure, click there and then you come and say save. Now, I'm going to close. Yes, I'm going to close this Notepad here. Then we look for our file, which we called index. It is here. Here is our file, index. If you look at it, it has that icon of a web browser. And they tell you type Chrome HTML document. So when I want to view what I have so far on this document we are creating, I will just double click. So when I double click, you can see how it is being displayed. Do you remember the title of our document? We said the title is page title. This is where it will always appear. Do you remember the file name? The file name is here, index.html. Why is it plain? The answer is, in our body section, we did not create any single content. That will now take us to that next step. How do we create the contents now? I will close this. Now, how do we access our Notepad? We want to edit this file here, this document. How? I can come to this very file, right click, and then you're going to choose which program would you like to use to edit this document here. So you move, if you want to use Notepad++, you use that. This is not what we have been using. So I'll say open with. Do I want to open it with Firefox? No, no, I will have to get it to open it with Notepad. Now, if you don't see it, this option here, if it is your first time, you come and say, choose another app. You click. Then it will display for you some kind of menu like this. This is Windows 10. You scroll. If you don't see that option still on the list provided here, there is this option for more apps. Click on more apps and then scroll. You will be able to find that Notepad, click on it, and then say, okay. Then you'll go back to your Notepad. I hope that is fine, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm zooming again. Now here we go. We want to put some contents in the body section. I have some support content that I have. So we want to work with the heading styles. Heading styles are 6. So heading style 1, so you open this tag and you say H1. This is our heading style 1. Let me access some contents that I would prepared for this session. Yes, I think it is this. So our first heading, I want to put this content here. I will copy this content and I go to my heading style here and I paste it. So after pasting, let me zoom fast so that people can see this well. So after pasting, I close this heading 1. close it, H1. So this is an element that we have already created in our document. Save the changes. So we want to have some contents just below this heading. And this should be in the form of a paragraph. So what I do is also introduce a paragraph tag. So the paragraph tag, like I told you, is this one here. Where is the paragraph you want? I'll just pick one here. I copy. I come and paste. Then after, I close the paragraph tag as well. I want to save the changes. Those examples are enough. So we save our change. Here is the content or the elements that we have created under the body section, just to zoom for you. So under our body section, we are saying we want our web browser to create for us a paragraph. Yes, a heading with this title here. Under that heading, we want to see a paragraph with this content here. So after you've saved the changes, go to your browser. This is our browser, run it. You can see here we have our content created very well. And that is as simple as that. If you want to create another paragraph or another heading, you can still go back and say, this time let me use another heading style 3, not 2, because you have 1, 2, 3 up to 6. You will correct me if I'm not right. So I will use heading style 3. We get our content once again. Did I close the file? Yes, you want to use this content. I copy it and paste. I close this tag for heading style 3. We want a paragraph just below this. Introduce your paragraph tag, and then get the content or type the content. I'm done with typing my content. I will close my paragraph. Then I save the changes. Let's run our browser. Here is our browser. So I double click and you can see. If you look carefully, heading style 1 is quite, if I can use the word, big in size than this. If I go back and I also change this heading style and I say it should be heading style 1, you'll see all of them having the same size. So I'll come here. I say this is heading style 1. We are closing. And this should also be 1. Save the changes. Now I will just reload. Yes, we don't need to all the time close, close, close. That when I do, I close, then I open. No, you can keep on reloading that page. So if you look at these two heading styles, you realize that they are now the same. This is a simple website we have created with just text. And basing on our objective of the training today, I want to be convinced that we have successfully achieved them. Unless we have some questions, I will just encourage you, for those who have not been practicing this, try to create an HTML document with different heading styles, heading style 1 up to 6, while providing some contents in paragraph form. Thank you, members, for attending. I invite questions. I invite some other sharing from you, my colleagues. Thank you once again. Back to you, Mr. Dumba.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ogwal. Thank you so much. I hope I'm clear. Members, I hope I'm clear. Now, we are here not just for decoration. We are not here just to waste our data and attend these sessions. By the end of this week, each of you will have a website. We'll have a simple website built only in HTML. So whoever has not understood this first lesson, please, can we have questions now before you wind up? It's time for questions. Yes, Mr. Ogwal, Tony asks, why do we have doc type?
Yes, I hope I'm on. Yes, the doc type. Yes, the doc type. I say that we use it, and it should always come as the first tag on top. This doc type helps us in declaring, helps us in informing our web browser that this is the version. So you're declaring the version of that HTML you're using to mark up your document, that HTML you're using to format your document. So that is why we use that doc type. I hope I've answered you, sir. Mr. Dumba, if you have some other input, please, or any other member. Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. And then Noel Inandago says she wants to know about, elaborate more as to why you are saving as HTML.
Yes, we save as HTML to enable our web browser recognize the document. If you just save that file as maybe index and you just click save, I showed you somewhere where it was telling us that if we just save it like that, it will be saved as just a plain text document. And for us, our major goal is to see that we create a website that will be loaded or run or opened with the help of a browser. So if you want your document to be opened with a browser, you have to put that .html. If you don't put it, it will just be treated as a text document, nothing else. So that will not have helped you at all. So you can try it out as well, and you see. Don't put HTML and you see what it will show you. Mr. Dumba, any addition?
Noel, are you getting us well? Bernard, yes? Bernard, please. Well, Semuju Henry, can you please ask your question?
I'm Bernard here. Bernard, I'm around. Hello. Now I'm asking, is it possible for us to get other software?
Yes, Bernard, we can hear you.
Apart from, is it possible for us to, if you can at least assist us and give us other software apart from Notepad that we are using, because I'm using the Windows PC.
I don't know whether.
Hello?
Yes, Bernard, it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. I think you joined in.
I don't know. I didn't get
late.
you well, Mr. Bernard. Can you maybe type your question in the chat?
Is that Mr. Dumba?
Samuju Henry's hand is up. Perhaps can also ask a question. Yes, please.
Yeah, Bernard was asking. Bernard was asking whether it is possible to avail them with other software apart from Notepad we are using for Windows. And I'm saying it is possible. I think he joined it late, but on your browser, please, you can go ahead and, yes, you can go ahead and type Notepad++ or I think, let me try to give you options, or you can type Sublime, but Notepad++ is somehow simple, with a simple interface. So you will download it and then you'll be able to install it. It is very small, I think around 24 MBs or 30. Yeah, you can use that if you want another software. Mr. Dumba, back to you, sir. Is Mr. Dumba present?
I'm present, but I don't know, is it my network? It's breaking, kind of.
Yeah, I think your network.
Yeah, then you'll help me steer the lesson.
Okay, sir. Okay, Bernard, I see John has shared a link. You can check a link in the chats and you'll be able to download one. Henry, your hand is up before I go to Stephen. Henry? Semuju Henry? Henry is quiet. Members, we are 6 minutes into time and we always want to keep time. Let's hear from Stephen. You're saying actually when I open in the browser, it brings a blank